This week, no, let's get into it. Let's start things out politically. A party sees President Lincoln serenaded, but he makes no speech. How peculiar. The great order of our time is mute. General Sheridan has one goal, to ensure Lieutenant General Jubal-Early will beg for mercy. Last week saw a skirmish between the two forces, which is followed by more probing actions. Sheridan wants to know the enemy, and for the enemy to know him. The 13th, the two sides again join in battle. Actually, that's pretty generous. Abrams Creek, where we take 173 rebels as prisoners. Early believes he understands Sheridan. He's the same as Sigil and Hunter. Slow generals who make small actions for publicity, but are paralyzed by the threat of a real confrontation. The 14th, Anderson departs Winchester to join with Lee's army. Early doesn't need him. Sheridan hears of this and also of Early leaving Winchester, but he wants more concrete proof, so he turns to General Crook, who informs him of a spy on the inside, Rebecca Wright, an abolitionist school teacher. I learned that you are a loyal lady and still love the old flag. Can you inform me of the position of Early's forces? If any more troops arrive from Richmond, you can trust the bearer. He gives this letter to a slave, Thomas Law, who brings the message directly to Wright's classroom. The division of General Joseph B. Kershaw and Lieutenant Colonel Wilfred E. Cutshaw's artillery, 12 guns and men, have been sent away. No more expected. The bearer may call again. Brilliant. With this information, Sheridan comes up with a plan for battle. The infantry will hold the enemy outside of Winchester, and the cavalry will annihilate them. This is perfect timing because after Sherman's victory at Atlanta, Grant has traveled to Sheridan to ask why he hasn't brought a similar victory yet. This plan for Winchester satisfies the General-in-Chief. On the topic of Grant, let's look at his Petersburg project. General Lee is starving, while his men are. Old Robert is an officer. He still has dinner on a silver plate. To end the starvation, General Wade Hampton III is sent out to raid. 3,000 Union cows are guarded by a mere 400 men at Coggins Point. Breaking through the Union line via a forgotten road, the rebels strike at night, quickly surrounding the small federal force. Sadly, they are successful, claiming almost 2,500 cattle, below cost of 50 men to our 400. Confederate rearguards ensure that the main force of Hampton escapes with our herd, holding off further Union cavalry. When the mounted Grays reach Confederate lines, with the first real meal in weeks, they're cheering all down the trenches. The seas belong to the blue, and the next final port must be taken. Since Admiral Farragut declines the opportunity, instead, to his right-hand man, the commander of cannons, David Dixon Porter. The final thing this week is the devil of the saddle. He rides with 4,500 men of Gray, cutting the communications of Sherman. But these raiders can't stop the tide of freedom. Sickles' time. He doesn't shoot McClellan. Instead, he hears the pleas of the people. As the preeminent politician of New York, he has been called to enter that boxing arena once more, running in the 4th District against Peace Democrat Benjamin Wood, his successor after he left the House to join the fight for the Union. I'd be glad to see Dan destroy Wood, but that would require him leaving the army. It's a tough decision. That's where the week ends, one of the shortest in recent memory. So instead of focusing just on these 7 days, let's examine the year so far. First, we saw removal from Florida. Louisiana's incompetent command lost campaigns, but just as these theaters grew quiet, the loud leadership of Sherman and Grant sounded the call of advance. Battling in Georgia pushed General Johnston to the gates of Atlanta, Georgia. The castle of the Confederacy was replaced by the hawkish Hood, who surrendered the city to Sherman. Grant to the east battled Lee to a standstill, but kept on pushing all the way to Petersburg, where the Army of Northern Virginia, the greatest force of the rebellion, was locked up, as the fate of Richmond is decided south of the James. In the valley, the army of Jubal-Early dances with that of Sheridan. Just as the stalemate seemed assured, we captured Mobile Bay. What we see here, viewer, is the Anaconda Plan first proposed in 1861. The slaughter is slow, but the strangulation of succession is continuous. The question now is, what will give? Will Sheridan take the valley and Virginia afterwards? Will Sherman burn the rebel heartland and starve the South into submission? Will Grant take Richmond? Will the people of the Union decide peace just before the army proclaims victory? Hi, it's the entire Civil War week by week team here. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I know it's a short one, I know. It's probably not what you hoped. There just wasn't much of this weekend. School calls. But I do hope to see you next week, where I can assure you much more will be happening.